Welcome to this episode of the Customer Centric Retailing Podcast. This is Anil Patel, founder and CEO of Hotwise Commerce. In this podcast, we discuss e-commerce, omnichannel technology, pre-order management, brick and mortar operations, retail culture, innovation, and how all these elements come together to create customer-centric retailing. Join us to hear the brightest minds in the retail industry share their experiences and thoughts on the most relevant topics today. Today we have with us Angela Picin. She's Global Retail Operations Manager at Roger Vivier. Welcome to the podcast, Angela. How are you doing today?
Hi, Anil. I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, and hello to all.
No, this is great. This is great. I've been having conversations with you, but definitely just for our audience, I would love if you could give us a quick introduction to your journey, professional journey so far.
Yes, sure. So my experience can be divided into, I like to divide it into parts, which is the first one, it's the Italian part, because I am Italian and I started my career in retail when I was young, when I was 24 years old. And I started for a company whose name is Calzedonia Group, which is a mass market company, and I was in charge with the retail and the stores. I started as a store manager and then as a district manager. I was in charge with the development of several stores for the brand Tezenis, which is a young brand. And basically, my experience was really brick and mortar because it was before 2008. And so everything was very solid and very material, let's say. And during these years, I was also, since I'm very, very curious, technologically speaking, I started to discover social networks and like Facebook and MySpace. If you remember, I had a personal page also. And I started to deep dive into these new tools to understand how they were working and what were the opportunities that could give us. And at the end, I was the one who created the fan pages Tezenis, that today is, I think that has several millions followers. And I presented this opportunity to the owner, to the president of the company, and I had the possibility to enter the communication and image office department. So it was a great opportunity because I could learn a lot about communication, about marketing. I was in charge with the shootings. So let's say that this experience was retail, but also communication part. While the second part of my life, which is the French one, it's started with Roger Vivier, which is a French maison, and it is part of Tod's Group. So it's a maison of luxury that sells high quality and products, accessories, and shoes. And I work as a retail operations manager. So I am in charge with all the operations, let's say, from the uniforms to the tools that are in the stores. And last but not least, during the last 3 years, I've been working with the implementation of all the omnichannel part, which is very, very important today for the maison, and it's giving us a lot of satisfaction, let's say.
Awesome. This is great. Yeah, no, this is fantastic. It's important here. I definitely want to highlight that you started this digital journey very early on and leveraging the social network for establishing communication with from the brand to the customers. In fact, today I read a report about a report that was done by NRF and IBM to study global customer base, and they also established the fact based on the data that the social all the digital social networks are having so much impact on customers' buying behavior, how they discover products, and all that. So I'm really happy that I have opportunity to talk to you, because you are one of those people who early on saw the opportunity for retail brands to use social networks. So that's fantastic. But then, what you are doing recently definitely catches my attention a lot, just because you you talk about the magical words omnichannel. Means that's really great. We want today customers are digital. They are always like, in this report that I talked about, again, there was this term came up, that hybrid shopping. We clearly see that today customers are discovering products digitally, and as they discover the product, and then they learn about it, and then as they learn about it, they go and as a part of their shopping journey, they go in the store, experience the product, check it out, and then if they like it, they go ahead and complete the buying process. Buying process is just a part of the buying journey, right? So that's like an amazing thing. So tell us about your real life experiences about what customers have come to expect. In technology world, we call it seamless experience across channels. What do you see? What are customers expecting, and how in the real world, in these stores, as you are running them, what is the real ground level reality and the implementation of the seamless experience that we are talking about today?
Yes, as you say, you're right. You talk about seamless experience because the client doesn't want to feel any problem when he wants to buy. He needs to buy fast because with a luxury, it's not something that we need. It's not something like food. So luxury, it's really an experience. So for us, it's very, very important that experience is at the top, as the best experience ever. So as you say, today the client, for sure, the first thing that he does is to check on the social network, and then he goes on the website, and then he comes to the stores. So from an omnichannel point of view, there might be two different, let's say, purchase points. That one is from the online, and the other one is from the store. So it depends on the client and what he needs. So the reality is that the seamless experience should be seamless, because technologically speaking, there should be any issue. From an operational point of view, all the staff should be trained, all the materials, like let's say the special packaging, thank you notes, and whatever should be delivered to the store and be ready to be used. Also from a logistic point of view, it's something that we have to consider, because when you buy online and when you buy in store, you have to have the product present, available. So one of the aim of the omnichannel is to make the product always available. So if you are in the store and you cannot find it because it's finished, you just sold the last piece, the sales assistant is able to assist the customer and make a purchase online on a purchase order, and make this product shipped directly to his house or at the store as he wants. On the other side, when the client is on the website and he wants a product, he doesn't know if this product that comes from the stock of the e-commerce or from a stock of a store. But in our company, what we do is to make all the stores synchronized so that the client can see, let's say, the majority of possibility of availability of stock. Okay, so this is the challenge that we are experiencing today. And then, as I say, the show must go on, because sometimes, when you are in the store, then you don't have the Wi-Fi, so the application is not properly working, or sometimes the client receives a product in a wrong address, so the sales assistant has to help the client. So all these ingredients are part of my daily life, and the client the aim, and also the one of the stories, to make it to make it satisfied. And if there is a problem, the problem gets behind, and then we smile and we find the solution. So we try to activate all the channels, and also the communication between e-commerce team and the store teams is now essential.
Yeah, this is great. In fact, the synchronization and teamwork between the online and the in-store SO team has to be really, really, integrated. They have to work together as one team, which is important. Like traditionally, what we have seen is that all these online stores have their own KPIs, their own targets. Retail stores have their own KPIs, their own targets. But from what you just said, a lot of customers might actually start their journey online, may even place an order online, and then come in the store to pick up the item. Or they might order an item online which gets shipped from the store. So here it is the situation where two teams are working together to deliver a high quality service, to deliver the product to the customer. Now, in this process, what we are seeing is the clear line between these two teams is disappearing, and so is disappearing the KPIs. So what do you think about the challenges of how do we measure the performance of our store associates? How do we keep harmony between the relationship between them so they are not competing with each other, instead they are working together to help our customers and have our company succeed, our brand deliver on the promises to the customer. At the same time, we want to ensure that our associates in the store or in the online business are all successful and they are feeling happy. So tell us more about, what are your real life experiences in that terms?
Yes, you talk about KPIs, which are very, very important because from my point of view, and that also from your point of view, the seamless experience is important. So one of the main KPIs that I'm checking today is connected with the cancellation, because it can happen both from the online purchase and on the store purchase, that at the end of the day, there is a cancellation that can be caused by several issues. So whenever there is a cancellation, it means that there is a client who is disappointed, and we want to avoid this as much as possible because of the customer experience. So I've been checking for all these months all the cancellations coming from e-commerce and also coming from the ship from store. So and it's very challenging, because when you ask for information, then for example a store who is canceling a product, for example, can have several reasons. So one reason is for sure the quality check, because the product is not fine, so it's damaged, so it cannot be shipped. So this is the first. Then there is the cancellation due to the payment failure, which is very rare. And the most the one that we have more often is a problem of the store that doesn't want to send it to the client because he wants to keep it for a potential client that could come in the next day. Sometimes it's for sure a reservation that they forgot to put in the hidden stock, because this is another thing that we have to remember, is that if something is reserved, the store, the system cannot see, the stock has not to see this availability. But in the other side, there is this mindset of the stores, which is still present, that they prefer to keep the product in the store because they will probably sell it tomorrow, and then they don't sell it. But it's not a problem. So little by little, this is something that it's getting really better, really improving during all these months, but it takes time. So this is the first KPIs. And then there is the return, the return time with the refund, because in our policy, once we have received, we refund the client once the product is is back from in the warehouse. So if you are fast in shipping, and then if you are fast in receiving, then we can refund easier the client. And then another one is the delivery time, because this is mostly for the ship from store. So meaning that the product is starting his journey from the store. And as you know, when you buy online, you know, you have more or less 2 to 3 days or 4, it depends. So we try to stay in the same window of timing also for the stores. And it's sometimes challenging because during these 2 years with the pandemic, the stores have been having a lot of more operation concerning logistic, because it's not only ship on store, but could be also distance sale that comes, or a consolidation. So there is a lot of movement behind the scenes that we cannot see, but it's happening a lot. So this is another KPI.
No, this is great. In fact, I like the KPIs, how you defined, like cancellations. Like it's like something we can smell. You can smell quickly that if there are cancellations happening, particularly if for orders not shipping from the store, there is a lot to be we should closely take a look at it, and there's an opportunity to have a conversation with the store associates, help them understand the company's strategy, help them understand the customer experience, get them on board with the omnichannel strategies, like the company's goal to deliver the seamless experience to the customers. Now, as and when we discuss these experiences with the store associates, and cancellations are good opportunity, we can get them on board with our omnichannel journey or digital transformation journey of the company, which is important. So this is actually interesting. So what is how does this affect the sales targets that we are setting at the store level or at the online level? So do you see some changes in your strategy about how you set these sales targets for your stores? How do you set targets for your store managers and your store associates, and then also your online sales? So I'm sure there are different things that you have experimented, and you must have what are the outcomes of your experiments? So definitely, I'm sure our audience would be interested in learning from it.
Yes. So let's say that last week until the first part of the year, the systems were not, the omnichannel was, we call it light version, because the stocks were not still synchronized 100%. And also the statistics system, the one that gives us all the data, was not synchronized with the sales. So there was this first part where all the endless aisle, for example, the endless aisle purchase, they were not tracked. So we have to do it with an Excel, and then every day sell to the business analyst to include this data. And we didn't have a lot of success with endless aisles. Start from the moment when these sales were included in all the weekly report, monthly reports, etc. And it was associated to the retail part, that was a success. So just to explain you, there was a kind of battle between the e-commerce and the retail, because how can we associate this sales? So the balance was that in endless aisle sales are now associated to the retail, so to the sales assistant, while the ship from store are associated to the to the e-commerce. And the reason is that when you do an endless aisle sales, even if the purchase is done online, then all the sale and the selling ceremony is done by the sales assistant, who is in charge to accompany the client, to make him decide, to give him some tips. So this is a real effort from a sales point of view, while the ship from store is just the store is just a stock source. So let's say he is in charge with the preparation of the packaging. Okay, so was the first part, which was like, okay, this is the deal. But then we are we are now living another moment where with the increase of numbers of ship from stores in particular, in some specific stores that are doing the stock source for extra Europe. So in particular, we are a store in Milan who is doing a lot of shipment to Canada, to Thailand, to APAC, to Australia. They are doing a lot of ship from store. And so we are thinking about rewarding them in some way, because they not only have to deal with the ship, but they also have to deal with the returns. Because when the client is not satisfied and then he does a return, the product arrives to the store. So the stock keeper is getting crazy sometimes and is not very happy. So no, which is totally understandable. So this is like these are the main, let's say, the main issues that arise nowadays in my reality. I don't know what you think, and if your experience is different from mine, I'm curious to know.
Yeah, this is interesting. In fact, the what you shared is in alignment with what my experience is. We also see that this is a good compromise, wherein all the online orders that get shipped from the store are attributed to the online sales, and at the same time, all the endless aisle orders that are placed by the stores are attributed to the store sales, which is, this is how, there's a clear line between, who put the real effort into closing the sale. Right. At the same time, when it comes to shipping from the store, what we are doing is we are adding additional responsibility on the stores, right? So it's actually, additional work. So while I agree that if the item is shipped from the store, the sales should be attributed to the online, at the same time, there has to be some kind of a compensation model. Because store associates have to work more hours or more effort to ensure that online orders are getting fulfilled in time, they are interacting with the shipping company. So there's like a lot of work out there. In your case, you are even taking returns at the store, means there's like even more work. So I see that in our experience, we've seen retailers giving certain kind of compensation for each item fulfilled or returned in the store, the processed by the store associates. And the clear reason is that, the store is doubling the role as a fulfillment center as well. So when the store is also performing the role of fulfillment center, that effort should be recognized and should be attributed to the store associates and the store performance.
And this is under discussion, so we are discussing about this. I hope I will be able to give you good news next time.
Yeah, I know this is important, but I think what in this transformation journey, I see what you have achieved is bringing the inventory information from all these different locations, the retail stores, the warehouses, and all these, and making it available to as a one unified system. So both your online system can take orders, and if there's an item in stock, it could be in warehouse or in the store, you want to not miss the sales opportunity on your website. Similarly, the store associate should have access to exactly the same inventory information, so they can be helping the customers in the store to buy the item. So this getting the inventory information unified and making it available across all these channels is a challenge that most retailers face, and looks like you have resolved it, right? Tell us about your experience on what was your journey?
Yes, well, you say a word, resolved. it's let's say that it's a continuous improving. But it is essential what you say, that you have to have a source of information. For us, it's SAP car. I call it the Bible, because I know that whenever I go in this tool, in this system, everything is correct. Now, it's very important that all the teams do their work, meaning, okay, there is a system that can communicate in a very precise ways the quantities. Then there is the synchronization with external stock, which is another thing, because the IT is working a lot and they are really, really good. But now, for example, when we started, we were able to have all the stocks synchronized every 6 hours. Now it has been lowered to 3 hours. So since we are not Amazon and we are not moving a lot of products, for the moment, it's okay. But we aim to have like less than 3 hours in the future. So this is one of the objectives that the IT has, and they are really working on it. And then once you have this thing, you also have to work on the inventories, because it's essential that also the people working in the stock, they check that everything is perfect. So cyclic inventories is another essential part in the operations, because imagine that there is an error. This error will be translated in all the systems, so from the e-commerce to the application where the stores can see the availability. And then there is the auto-replenishment system, which is another part of the Omnichannel, because we have implemented this tool last year and we're still implementing in the other regions. So it's present in Europe, it's working in China, and it works with AE. So it is learning on how to replenish. But we are seeing that even if it's working very well, then what's happening in the store, sometimes it's faster. So also this part, we try to move products faster through internal transfers. So there are transfers, there is the auto replenishment, there is SAP, and another thing that I would like to be possible in the next months is that the stores could see not only the stock of the stores in their own region, but also the stock of the e-commerce, because sometimes they cannot do endless aisle, because, for example, in the department stores, it's not feasible. And they can also see the central stock, the central warehouse stock, which today is not feasible at all. So I am working with the IT to make this feasible. And this because I know that some other competitors are doing it and it's working very well. Then the sales assistant, for example, can reserve the products in the real time. They can have it in 1 or 2 days, and they can like improve their sales of at least 20%. So today it's another challenge. And also the central stock is a part of the visibility of the Omnichannel. So the stock is it's a great deal today. It's a big deal today for all the teams.
Yeah, this is interesting. Like, it's our dream to bring together, unify the inventory information and make it available to the whole company, online or in store. But as we do it, like you mentioned, it's very important that the inventory accuracy is actually high quality. Like you said, we should be doing good cycle counts, so we know what is available in the store. If item is damaged, it's properly reported. And so we are not over promising. And because finally, if it was over promised, we'll have to cancel the order, and that's like a customer is not happy about it. So that's one thing. Now, did you have a buffer stock or safety stock, kind of concepts added in your inventory management, like uh, every store will have like at product level certain buffer, like 2 pieces. If I get down to 2 piece, I'm not going to sell it to the online store. And then, so like, what are the different checks and balances you have experimented with, and what works, what doesn't work when it comes to inventory accuracy management, especially dealing with over promising?
Yes, at the moment, our system is not as so specific that we can, for example, say, under this number of products, please don't ask me to send you back, because we are working on it. And we are also working on the numbers of ships that every store can do every day. Like decide that this particular store can do maximum 2 ship on store per day, or depending on the dimension and of the staff of the store. Yeah. And then regarding what you say, the number, the buffer, yes, it exists, and but it's not modulable from the ship from store point of view. So no, but we have a merchandising department who is constantly working on moving products from one store to another, from one region to another, to be sure that the selection is perfect and that the quantities are enough for e-commerce and for stores. So this is another part of the omnichannel system that I didn't mention before, but also the merchandising department is playing a big role, because every day they check that the stock situation of the stores, and once per month they do big consolidations, so all the stores can send to e-commerce or vice versa the products, to be sure that there is a good repartitions, let's say, of all the products. So yes, even if today our system is not able to provide, let's say, a limit or a buffer, as you say, as you mentioned, but we are working on it. That's for sure something we have to improve. And then it's true that we don't have big stocks, so we cannot have a lot of stocks. We are also improving this part, so we are getting the limit. And another thing that we didn't mention is the production capacity, which is essential. And we discovered that by focusing, because as you know, the continuative part of the collection provides us 60% of the turnover. So we have to focus on that. And through the auto replenishment system, we have discovered that we could sell more. We could sell more, but at the moment the production is not so fast. So there is another issue that they are working on, which is for sure a very important point to be improved. So also this part, the production has to facilitate the sales.
Yeah, this is important. Like, I work as a part of providing software, our product order management system to different retailers. I have had opportunity to work very closely with merchandisers, and merchandisers have very sophisticated plans, and they really want to be able to control many things, including thresholds at the store level, then at the exact SKU level. Also, they want to make sure that how many orders get shipped from each store. Like you said, an order should not be assigned more than so many orders for fulfillment each day. So that's the other one. At the same time, what I've seen is in more recent time, the merchandisers have started talking about, they've been asking about pre-orders. So like you said, there is this whole production planning and production management issues also. And we've seen increased demand for pre-orders, or wherein the moment item is put on order to the factory, like, when the purchase orders are raised, the information starts flowing into the order management system, and order management system starts selling the future inventory online. That way, before even we have item in stock, we have sold a whole lot, and it also helps in reorders during the season. So that's something I have experienced, and we continue to see uptrend. We continue to see increased conversations and need for technology to help manage pre-orders for retailers, particularly for the items that are expensive but are high demand items. So yeah, definitely inventory management remains a challenge, and l- like uh, like when I said resolved and you said, well, we are evolving. It is I totally accept your statement that this is something that will keep improving every day, because we are going to learn new challenges of managing inventory and building the system and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, no, this is important. So, I really like what the conversation we had today. The main takeaway that I see from today's conversation is, the key is in monitoring the cancellations, because uh, if we keep a close eye on the cancellations that we are getting for either online order or endless aisle order, doesn't matter. If we keep our close eye on it, then there's a lot we can learn and fix in our system, and get the system even more ready and prepared for serving our customers, because each cancellation means a one unhappy customer, and we don't want that to happen. So I would say that is the main takeaway for me from this conversation that we had today. And I'm sure our audience is going to have their own takeaways, and they might want to come back to you with your ideas on different things, or even they might have questions for you based on what recommendations you have given today. So to sum up, can you give me like a three top advice that you would give to our friends in retailing community?
Yes, sure. Only three? No, I'm joking. So no, for me, one of the essential part is the communication, because when you start to do this project, you think that it's feasible, but whenever you talk with different departments, you discover things that you didn't think before. Like, for example, the logistic part is essential, that can help. You can talk with the merchandising, you can talk with the stores. And another tip that I give you is to go to the store, live the life of the store, and understand what are the clients' need. Because when you are there, you can really breathe the real life of the sales, and the stores are in the first part, like, let's say, the first line of the sale, and they always have great tips. So when you want to launch something, to implement a new activity or a new feature, always ask them what they think. And the second point is to think customer. So, for example, yes, you go to the store, but you can also organize, for example, mystery shopping activities, like we do, like just done, starting from the e-commerce, like seeing what happens during the journey, which is very useful. For example, I learned that some stores are not able to prepare an online appointment, because they receive the request and then the client arrives and nothing is ready, because they didn't take the time to understand what the client was wanting, was wanted to try, if what size, if it was for him, for his daughter, for the wife. So this is very important, and I've learned this. So mystery shopping experience are important. And then the third thing is that to do one thing at a time. So project manager is important. Don't start little by little. Use a store as a test for some days. Check if everything is going fine or not, and then fix the problem, and then launch it little by little. And that's the only way to go on, because if you want to do everything at a time, you will discover a lot of problems and you will not be able to manage them. Fourth, and then I stop. And this is my desire. I hope in the future that there will be one single head managing e-commerce and retail, because to me, the omnichannel is just an evolution of the sales. So yesterday we were buying only in the stores, but then we were buying only in e-commerce. But I think that today we need to have a single head that thinks for both and that can, let's say, give a coherence in the customer experience. So this is my wish for the next month, years, for the future.
Thanks a lot for mentioning the fourth item, because I agree with you. Unless we get to the fourth item, means have the one head for both or all the channels. There should be one retail head who is responsible for success of the all the branches of the company, and everyone working together to serve the customer. Now, unless that happens, this whole omnichannel conversation is not going to yield a whole lot of benefits. Definitely, really good tips, very good tips we got today from you. I follow you on LinkedIn, and we've been having conversations there. Is there any other channel of communication you would like our audience to connect with you if they have any questions for you?
No, to me it's okay. LinkedIn, I am available there. I don't have a personal website, so it's okay. You can find me on LinkedIn. So yes.
Awesome. Wonderful. So Angela, thank you very much for your time today. It was a really good conversation, and I'm sure our audience is going to love it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you all. Bye.
That's it for this episode of the Customer-Centric Retailing Podcast. If you like what you heard, you can subscribe on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and Google Podcast. Please rate and review and recommend to a friend or a fellow retail fanatic. This podcast is presented by Hotworks Commerce.